I don't remember ever finishing this game as a child, and I think that's because me from 2005 had better things to do. Of course, I had no way of knowing that until I played it again as an adult, and at some point my various low-level irritations with the game congealed until I was simply over it and wanted to be done. But I pushed through, for you guys, and because I needed to get something out of this experience. Legend of K was released in early 2005 by German company Neon Studio, and it turned out to be their last game because their company owners Joe Wood ran into financial difficulties, resulting in the studio's closure later that same year. Neon's original founders went on to create Keen Games, which now works on Enshrouded, a very good game if you're into survivalcraft experiences in a handcrafted world of magic and lore. Now, I don't mean to say that the game has no redeeming qualities, but they are few and far between, so let's start with my complaints. It can often be the case that the camera is your real enemy in a platformer game, but it genuinely feels like the camera fights you half the time when navigating the levels, with one particularly egregious instance causing me to go back through a door I just came from because the camera suddenly snapped to a completely different angle just as I tried to move. The game's combat largely consists of being locked in a room with a bunch of enemies with a variety of tools and techniques to deal with them. You have the sword, the claws, and the hammer, with the sword being the most balanced, the claws being best for unarmored enemies, and the hammer being the best for armored enemies. Which is great in theory, only most enemies you face around the time you get the claws are armored, and the sword knocks armor off, so you might as well just finish enemies with the sword. Claws are functionally useless for combat, their only real utility is being able to use them in the water if there's bamboo blocking the way. When it works, the combat itself is fine, and I can admit that if I was more adept at using all the moves available to you, that it would have dragged less. However, the encounters have a very jarring stop-start feel to them, because you enter the room closes, corny unskippable dialogue ensues, you defeat the first wave, the game pauses so it can show you more people enter the room, you defeat them, the game pauses so it can show you the next wave enter the room, you defeat them, the game pauses so it can show you the room opening back up and maybe a reward poofing into existence. Stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. Speaking of corny dialogue, I don't know if the building where they did the English dub was actively being fumigated or had some kind of CO2 leak, but Jesus Christ, the English voice work feels like a cheese grater on my skull. The further I got, the less endearing I found it until I was closing my eyes and letting my head fall back as I waited for the cutscene to end because, as I mentioned, you can't skip anything. Which becomes especially annoying when so much of the dialogue is often completely pointless, telling you something you already know, could intuit from the level itself, or is just filler badly masquerading as witty banter, and you have no way to skip any of it, forcing you to sit through all three of those utterly useless lines unless you've already been through it once and died. Small mercies. And on top of all that, so many combat encounters have entirely too much dialogue slowing it down. You enter an area and most of the time K exchanges corny bullshit with his enemies for no one's enjoyment. Not to mention, there were certainly some decisions made when it came to the voices of various animals.
Now you not only risk your eggs, but me also. After you left the Frog Village, boss, they took revenge on us by ambushing us again and abducting some of us to here. I'd be mighty careful if I were you. It's crawling with gorillas all in this place.
The Avalanche will thank you in perpetuity, young warrior. I'll sally forth out to my brothers and sisters and tell all of your brave deeds. Long live K.
123 central means, 87 quantros, and 46.5 cubic twats. So, that's how it worked. The Cho Wang number series utilized differentially.
Differentially? Differentially.
And made of pure native sandstone, of course.
I don't know exactly what about this is hitting my ears wrong, but something doesn't feel correct.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f*** is that?
The fact that the achievement for beating the final boss is called "Is It Over Yet?" got a very bitter laugh out of me. I don't think it helped at all that while I was recording this I started playing Marvel's Midnight Suns in my off time, which is a really good, fun game, and I'm sad it was apparently a commercial flop to its publisher, because holy shit, you can absolutely tell how much work went into this thing, and after 20 hours I was barely at the end of part 1. At time of recording, I'm 60 hours in, and I've almost finished the campaign. Yes, this is me saying you should go play Midnight Suns if you like Marvel. Yes, it has a lot of systems, but if a dumbass like me can get through it on normal, then so can you. I was also playing Helldivers in my free time as well, because I'm doing my part.
Don't you yell for Cyber State, I don't give a fuck about that shit! I live another day! But not for long, there's a fucking fly!
My point is that going from 2 high-quality games that I was playing for fun to the less-than-stellar game I was playing for work only highlighted how much I was not enjoying it. But the one thing I will praise the game for is its use of comic book panels for its important scenes. Stuff like this will almost always age well visually, if not for the fucking voice acting.
Away! No bother me! Taxi! Get food! Must eat good to protect you!
Hey, Kay, wanna ride a wild boar? It's a heap of fun. I can show ya.
Hooka pooka. What kind hideous beastie are you, Pee-wee?
You'll find out. They call me Crocodile K, the Croc Killer. You two ought to make a couple of sweet handbags.
I really wish there was a setting to have the original German dub instead. It's also a shame to see how some of the species were drawn compared to how they appear in-game. Like, the frogs in the comics do not look like the frogs in-game. The cats are the only ones with actual humanoid proportions out of the 4 peaceful species, while the rabbits and frogs are largely just upright rabbits and frogs, and the pandas are the size and shape of toddlers. The pandas feel especially weird because we do fight bears at a few points in the game, and they look like what you'd expect anthropomorphic bears to look like. Just a very weird decision to me. Regardless, I think that's enough build-up, so let's get into it, shall we? If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a cheeky wee comment telling me your experience with the game. Our journey begins with... Jesus Christ! Our journey begins with a comic introducing us to the island of Yanqing, populated by cats, frogs, rabbits, and pandas, all following a spiritual practice called the Way, a belief in the inherent goodness of life. In the old days, they would drink from mystical fountains fed by springs, but these eventually dried up when people began to falter from the Way. It's not really specified what this entailed beyond growing complacent and losing their vigilance, and it's not like the people Kay runs into are evil and selfish, so it's not clear what actually happened to cause this. Regardless, because people aren't spiritually pure enough anymore, the island is colonized by a guerrilla empire led by Minister Shun. With them come the rats, their evil alchemy, and their belief in Din, what appears to be a moral opposite of the Way. The rats are led by Chief Tak, who we spoke of before, and...
Get to the quarry and cut me a block of songstone 10 times the size of this fountain! And hurry!
It's not just me, right? We're told that the Way is the only path to victory against this occupation, and the scene cuts to 2 young cats sitting on the steps of a dry fountain, Suling and Kay. Suling was the narrator of the intro and believes wholeheartedly in the Way, and Kay is deeply unimpressed, arguing that the gorillas took over because of their superior strength, not because Yanqing stopped following the Way, citing his master, calling it an old myth. Suling points out that Master is an old myth himself who spends most of his time drunk, and frustrated by Kay's dismissal, she leaves to find others willing to take up arms against the occupation. We're shown that Suling was in fact correct because Kay heads over for his next lesson just to find Master completely inebriated and in no state to teach. Putting Master to bed, Kay returns to talk to his uncle before getting accosted by Mayor Ubai. He has us deliver a message to the nearby military camp that seals off this entire area. But first, I have to check if the water in this game is deadly or not and discover that Kay has an adorable shaking animation if you stop moving after getting out of the water. Cute.
Hey, pussy boy!
Excuse me? We deliver the message and get a response to bring back to Ubai, but not before I explore a little and find this guy guarding the side entrance of the camp.
He's so hungry. All right, bash you good.
Ubai is pleased with the response, praised by Tak for being a competent manager of his people under this occupation, which is to say, enjoying the sense of higher authority and importance the Imperial backing gives him, no matter what it actually means for the people beneath him. Kay is sent off to train with Master, acquires the wooden sword as his first weapon, and learns some basic moves. The wooden sword is considered embarrassing by Kay because he wanted the big boy special ancestor prophecy sword in Master's house. Their training is interrupted by a party of gorillas and rats led by Tak, who is here to measure the nearby Songstone Fountain, those ancient sources of mystic water. The head gorilla argues with Tak about his plans, only to be interrupted by Master suddenly punching the big guy, yelling about vengeance and calling him an invader. This shockingly doesn't result in Master's immediate arrest or execution, with Tak ominously mentioning a borax as something that will take care of things instead. Kay is impressed by the moves and Master concedes that it's time to teach him more advanced things after Master has had a nap. We return to the village and help out around town, learn how to ride a boar, learn about ancient cat statues that can be used to solve various puzzles, how to high jump, and how to spring between two parallel surfaces called mirror walls. At the end of it all, we end up talking to Aitan and helping her look for 3 missing pumpkins, which involves bribing the gate guard to let us outside to find them. Our noble task of neighborly aid is interrupted by a very angry, very bug-eyed boar with a glowing red amulet on its neck. This is Borax. Thankfully, the wooden sword is enough to damage the amulet and force Borax to run away, leaving the village unscathed. This proves to Master that Kay is ready for more lessons, namely in how to block attacks, perform a powerful overhead strike, how to chain attacks, how to unleash magic attacks, all of this culminating in a fight with Master himself. We win, and Master encourages Kay to practice more on his own. Cut to Kay doing just that while Master drinks off to the side and the occupation returns, setting up a little stage for the gorilla Yurang to announce the closure of this terrorist training camp. Ubai then comes on to talk about how the democracy is making things better with their advanced and benign technology, opening good Din schools all over Yanqing. He dismisses claims of colonialism and denigrates the Way as weird mystic hogwash, something outdated the people need to let go of in order to integrate properly. In better hands, there's a good story here. Unfortunately,
Down with Din! Down with Tak! It's our school! We want it back!
A terrorist! Get him, boys!
It's okay, it's okay. We'll shut this school down. It doesn't matter anymore.
You just give in like that?
What are you gonna do? Take it easy, kid. I got a date with a bottle of nettle mead.
Master is an old myth himself, and he drinks too much nettle mead.
Stilling was right. I should have wised up a long time ago. Tomorrow, the sun will rise on a warrior.
And so, Kay sneaks into Master's house, takes the Ancestor Sword, and breaks containment in pursuit of Chief Tak. Upon entering the forest, we hear that the rats are causing trouble with the rabbits, threatening their home, the Hare Tree, which, I don't know if you know this, but rabbits and hares are very different creatures. Very different. This forest is also our introduction to the merchant, who will sell us a variety of consumables and upgrades, and
why the fuck you lying?
He knew damn well what Kay was going to do. Moving on, we run into a pair of rabbits who accidentally launched their friend into a dangerous spot while trying to attack the rat camp with a catapult, because cats are the only competent species on this island apparently. We eventually reach the lost rabbit and bring him back to his friends, getting a key to the rat camp for our troubles. Narrowly avoiding the rats' deforestation efforts, we make it to their camp and...
Enemy contact!
Well, if it ain't the Rat Patrol. Bring it, butt brains.
My torture starts. We free the imprisoned rabbit, Handu, learning that the rabbits have a paladin who can protect them, a dragon by the name of Torchi. They just need to talk to him first, but that may be a little tricky because the bridge to his cave is broken. After rescuing another rabbit in a clearing, we make our way to the Hare Tree and talk with the rabbit leader Tulao, who explains that we need to return 3 rubies to 3 dragon statues to fix the bridge and reach Torchi, and he happens to have one of the rubies. The other 2 were stolen by the rats. Back in the clearing, we're confronted by Tak showing us that he has evolved beyond the need for physical infrastructure. We take the long way around of returning all the rubies, fight through an obscene amount of bullshit every time we pass through this little hub area. Yes, this early into the game. Also, remember what I said about NPCs telling us completely useless information.
It's great you're here. I had the chance to overhear a conversation with Tak. He has found a way into the Dragon Cave and has already set off. I had the chance to overhear a conversation with Tak. He has found a way into the Dragon Cave and has already set off.
Groundbreaking.
Eventually, we restore the bridge and head into the cave. See, Tak's plan was presumably to control Torchy with the same kind of amulet they put on Borax, but once inside, we find that Tak has already moved on and Torchy is fine, if incredibly mistrusting and grouchy enough to spit fire at us. He's also British.
Oh, what's this then? Another bloody rat? I'll show you what for, you mangy little...
As a fun note, in the German version, he still sounds like this, just in German.
Was ist das denn? Noch so eine verdammte Ratte? Dir werde ich zeigen, du stuppiger Kleiner.
I'm so used to hearing accents in English that I forget that it's a universal thing, and it tickles me. Torchy warns Kay about the amulets, pointing him in the direction of Tak, and promises to keep the rabbits safe.
Can you take care of the hares?
Rabbits and hares are different goddamn creatures. I swear to God, they can't even crossbreed. Pursuing Tak leads us to a few boar races, insufferable battles, and eventually a proper boss battle with Borax where we put him in the forever box.
What did Torchy say? They've got these special transforming amulets. Turns a mild beast of burden into a beastly burden. Great fearsome monsters they are. So I think I have to hit him right on the amulet.
Oh, so you mean like the exact same way we won this fight the first time outside the village gate? Damn, I would have never have guessed. Moving on, we're shown a cutscene of the long boy frogs hauling massive blocks of songstone. The gorilla overseers wonder what it's all for, and Tak comes along to yell at them about how slow progress is. It's pretty clear that the gorillas and rats are only working together out of convenience, which will surely not lead to their downfall when they inevitably start backstabbing each other. Anyways, Kay arrives in the dank dark swamp and is greeted by a frog called Ma.
Greetings, stranger cat. Must say, hardly expected a kid like you showing up here.
Ich esse vielleicht keine Käfer, aber Ratten und Gorillas hau ich locker in die Pfanne.
Okay, Patron, du musst Kay sein, oder? Man erwartet dich, Bruder. Du weißt, dass dieser Tag im Sumpf ist, oder?
We're pointed towards Mayor Goo of the Frogs and navigate the swamp. This is a much more treacherous environment than the forest, with thick mud we can get stuck in, swarms of biting insects, deadly whirlpools, and other dangers. And it's the brighter swamps closer to Frog City where my memories of the game end. Through exploring the swamp, we can find the first version of the claw weapons just in time for the game to throw more enemies at us that are impervious to the claw weapons. Again, I love the claws in theory, but you might as well just finish enemies off with the sword once you've broken their armor with the sword in your hand. It's also at this stage in the game that it introduces bombs getting thrown at you in the middle of combat, something that knocks you over and breaks a point of armor, something that happens with increasing frequency the further we go. It's finally daytime again, and we run into a frog called Jin. He informs Kay that Frog City is in danger of being attacked, and the invading empire has locked off their escape route to the Forsaken City. We need to get the two halves of a key in order to open the frog-head statue which covers said escape route. Naturally, we have to retrieve those halves from the local crocodiles and turtles working with the empire, and just getting to them is an ordeal in itself. The first half is relatively easy to get, found inside a large turtle fort along with a bunch of frogs we can save.
Come on, these turtles, they are no buddies of ours. Their shells be pretty hard, yeah. I wanted to bash one, but I think it hurt me more than him.
I want to ask what direction was given, but I don't think there was any. The other half of the amulet is found in the depths of the Crocodile Temple, a massive flooded complex full of puzzles and dangers, but we need a key called the Crocodile Tear to open the temple in the first place, so with nothing else to do, we head off to Frog City.
Troops spotted all around the city.
What kind of defensive action have you taken?
Defensive action? We just frogs, pal. Scared frogs.
Girl, what? You are clearly capable of construction, yet you can't muster up some goddamn punji sticks? Whatever. Taking a nap in Frog City, we're rudely awakened by Shun's army sacking the place, setting fire to the buildings, plundering any riches they can find, and also threatening to destroy the frogs' eggs.
And our frog eggs. We have managed to secure some of them from the attackers, but now they threaten to burn them.
So yeah, this is actually super fucking dark, because that would be like finding all the pregnant women in the city, gutting them en masse, and killing the unborn. This is attempted genocide in a kid's game by directly attacking not just the adult civilians, but the next generation of them. I have this same reaction to quests or story beats where a sapient species' eggs are destroyed in other games. Harpies come to mind for me because they're often the target of this in World of Warcraft. Multiple times the player is sent to smash eggs, and it's not uncommon for the act to spawn a much smaller harpy that is immediately hostile, so you kill it. Harpies are sapient. They speak, they wear clothes, they have weapons and nests and tool use. They are people, but they're treated like pests, and players are sent to smash their eggs like they're an infestation that need to be destroyed. As if those aren't gestating children, not to mention actual children, if one pops out of the egg you destroyed. But because it's harpies, and because they're eggs, there's an inherent disconnect for a lot of people. Like, I get it, humans don't lay eggs, we eat eggs. I love scrambled eggs with toast and tomatoes. However, I'd feel a bit fucking differently about it if the eggs came from a thinking, feeling person who wanted it to hatch. So for what is ostensibly a kid's game to have the bad guys trying to destroy frog eggs, I do believe that falls under extermination with a capital E, as in big, serious legal crimes against humanity extermination. Anyway, throughout the city, we jump, climb, and fight our way to all the eggs we can find. Some are out in the open, and some require us to go inside burning buildings. This is where the game's camera can really get on your tits, because at one point you have to climb a tower. This tower has rotating beams and swinging bags that are on fire, both of which can hurt you and knock you down. And the camera fights you every step of the way. You want to see if the flaming bag of bullshit is about to hit you? Go fuck yourself. One puzzle in particular seems designed to piss me off with how goddamn nonsensical it is, where you push blocks one kick at a time until they sit on the right buttons. What do the buttons do? Control which patches of the room are on fire. Of course. What else would this mechanism do that had to exist before the village was on fire, and controls which part of the room is on fire? Everyone has that in their house, buttons that spontaneously ignite the fucking floorboards. Regardless, our reward for stopping this attack and saving the eggs is the key to the Crocodile Temple. We spend approximately 5 years navigating lazy rivers and watching Kay drown because his swimming stamina is roughly equivalent to a malnourished pensioner, until we eventually lower the water level of the pool enough to reach the second half of the Froghead Amulet. Because Kay can swim on the surface of the water, but the boy can't hold his breath for shit, otherwise he could have just dived for it and spared us. With the Froghead Amulet assembled, we descend down the swamp's local throat goat in pursuit of passage to the Forsaken City. We're briefly sidetracked by a giant turtle with an amulet in its shell, but once it sinks into the mud and drowns to death, we leave the swamp behind. A cutscene shows Minister Shun talking to his bodyguard about the elaborate machinery being built in the volcano Waa-Lo, highlighting how much he doesn't trust Tak. To that end, he has his underlings install a failsafe only the gorillas know about. I'm sure this will go exactly as planned for him. Kay's path brings him to a treacherous winding canyon where he's greeted by another British dragon, Tor Chang, nephew of Tor Chi. He offers Kay a lift to the city, only this game wants to torture me, so it functions like a boar race where you have to hit every ring along the track, and the character, verbally, directly tells us that this is how it works. There is no actual goddamn reason for it to be set up like this, and I proceed to have the worst time getting through the course, missing rings, running out of time, getting knocked out of the air by mines. I understand starting over if the mines get you, but running out of time before you hit the next ring, missing a ring, we're on a journey to overthrow a colonial empire. Why are you restarting this trip because of competition restrictions you placed on this favor you're doing me? This could have been skipped. It's not fun. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. Surely if you can fly, you would just fly up and out of the goddamn canyon. We arrive at the city, where the pandas live.
Oh no! Not another oppressor! Stay away, colonialist invader!
Everyone in this game should have gone to Specsavers, because the number of times Kay is misidentified as anything other than an orange cat is actually astounding. We chase after the panda until he's accosted by rats, treating us to more stellar voice acting.
Rebel! Capture him, throw into jail! Maybe solitary with maggot bread, show him resistance, be futile!
No! I am innocent! You have no justification to arrest me!
Shut up!
Rescuing the panda from prison, we're introduced to the panda resistance group called Avalanche, led by none other than Su Ling, who is not a panda, because cats are apparently the only one of the 4 species with any leadership or warrior skills. Even then, Su Ling herself doesn't display any of the latter, so I'm not sure what the plan was before Kay turned up, since he does all of the actual fighting. Regardless, Avalanche has a ship they built in secret. They plan to use it in a counter-invasion of Waa-Lo, and our job is to divert water back to the dry dock so they can set sail. We do this by finding 4 of those cat statues we've been using throughout the game to solve puzzles. Running back and forth across the city, we fill the dry dock most of the way until there's only 1 statue left. Unfortunately, it's on the other side of this drawbridge with 2 pressure plates that need to be activated at the same time to lower it. You'd think we would just place a rock on them, or some crates, or have 2 pandas stand on them. That would make sense, right? No! Instead, we run off to wake up 2 ancient ancestor statues by hitting them with a blast of magic, imploring them to help us lower the drawbridge, and they march their sparkly asses over there to stand on the plates. Fucking whatever. Not that we do that right away, no, Avalanche has to rub its collective 2 brain cells together to figure out how to solve this extraordinary puzzle. Surely, what could it mean that there are 2 pressure plates directly opposite the drawbridge? Should we try to stand on one of them at a time? Standing on both would be silly, we won't try that. Let's investigate these ancient scrolls about magic statues whose sole fucking purpose was apparently to lower a drawbridge in a city. Moving on. While they figure that brain teaser out, Kay is sent to the palace because in order to reach Waa-Lo safely, we'll need a special nautical chart. This can be found behind 4 puzzle doors deep beneath the palace in the ancient dungeons. Because of course it would be. But we have to unlock the palace doors by activating 4 cat statues, which sees us fighting through an obscene amount of bullshit just to get inside the dungeons in the first place. We have to fight our way to the courtyard, fight 2 waves of soldiers inside the courtyard, get jumped by bomb-throwing dickheads in one small room of the left-hand wing, get jumped by a different group upon leaving a statue in another room of the left-hand wing, navigate the broken floor of the right-hand wing, get jumped by 2 heavily armored enemies and 2 bomb-throwers, and finally get swarmed by a plague of beetles and man-eating flycatchers. With the door finally open, we can enter the palace and...
You ignorant little furball.
We finally get inside the palace, race through the ruined parts of it on a wolf in the second worst racing segment the game has to offer, and arrive at the entrance to the ancient dungeons.
As you can see, our experiment was successful.
What the fuck was the voice direction? As I said before, we have to open 4 puzzle doors to reach the nautical chart. Yes, I know we just activated 4 cat statues to open the palace. You're going to do it again, but longer, with more puzzles this time, and you're going to take it like a good little... Point is, through this protracted torture session of a level, we upgrade the hammer to its 2nd iteration, fight a giant terracotta cat warrior with an amulet embedded in its back, and retrieve the nautical chart. Returning to Su Ling, we learn about the shiny cat statues we can awaken. They lower the drawbridge by just standing on 2 pressure plates at the same time, as if we couldn't have used a couple of fucking rocks, and finally set sail to Waa-Lo. Kay and Su Ling share a cute moment on the ship, quickly undercut by the implication that rats are hiding below deck, ready to attack us. This is supposed to happen before we reach Waa-Lo, but I seem to have avoided it by sheer virtue of throwing myself overboard.
A manly sailor, I've got your back, but you'd best be aware of that shifty rat tack.
I'm the officer on deck of this most impressive ship, so you better batten down for a splashing good trip.
We cut to a comic scene showing us the tension between Tak and Shun is ready to boil over, with both sides believing they've tricked the other. Avalanche makes landfall, but apparently no one had a plan for what they would do when they got here. Leaving the snooping around to the pandas, Kay once more fights his way through an obscene amount of bullshit, from the dangerous wildlife of the beach, the soldiers in the harbour, and into Shun's palace. We're shown Tak becoming aware of Shun's mechanical sabotage, but rather than risk being interrupted during whatever spooky mystic procedure is meant to take place, Tak decides to confront Kay personally. It's a smart decision, but Kay is the main character and Tak isn't, so rip bozo L. Navigating through the deadly depths of the volcanic landscape beyond the palace, I had long passed the point of wanting to be done with this game, and unfortunately for my blood pressure, this is the point where it really tries to test your fucking patience. You deal with constant bombardment, waves of enemies, and at one point you have to outrun a lava flow only for it to catch up and kill me the first time and not speed up along to me the second time. Whatever. Eventually, with great effort and much bullshit endured, we fight Minister Shun, who we find lounging like one of your French girls on his throne. After the first fight, he runs off to the machine he and Tak were building and activates it, which hulks him out, not enough to avoid Kay beating his ass a second time.
Minister Shun, I'll save you!
Bring it on, you freaking baboons! Holy kitty litter! That's the butt-ugliest thing I ever saw!
I need you all to know that this is the most emotive Kay has been all game. Beating Shun for a third time, we're rescued from the impending eruption of Waa-Lo by Su Ling in a balloon, reuniting with everyone on the ship. The shopkeeper is revealed to be Master all along, and they all have a good laugh together before the credits roll, and I try to remember what it's like to experience positive emotions. I don't have any real closing thoughts for this one. My brain felt fried by the end of recording because I was so ready to be done playing it, so let's just leave it at that. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below, whether it's a game you'd like to see me cover, what you thought about the one we just discussed, or to tell me about your pets. Special shout out to my patrons and YouTube members who are all very handsome people, and if you'd also like to be called a very handsome people, you can support the channel through Patreon or become a member here on YouTube. Either way gets your name in the credits. If you're into live streams, you can catch me every Wednesday on Twitch at 8 PM British time. I can also be found over on Blue Sky and TikTok when I remember to post on either of those. All that being said, don't forget to drink your water, take your medication, be kind to yourselves, and I will see you all next time.